Yo guys, what is going on? It is Cruze bringing you my second YouTube video of the week on Warzone. So, as you can see, I'm going to be running you guys through my classes and my sensitivity settings as well as my audio settings. So I'll rock you guys through the first four classes that I like to use in Warzone today. So we'll start off with the first one, will be Loadout 10. This will be my main class. I normally use this the most, I'd say. So it's got an M4, an MP7, double time, overkill, amped, Simtex, and a heartbeat sensor. So, my opinion, M4 is the best gun in the game at the moment, and especially if you use these attachments, it makes it super overpowered, it kills super fast, and yeah, and the MP7's pretty good to go along with it as well. So, jumping right into the class, is the muzzle will be the monolithic suppressor, both for the damage range as well as obviously having a silencer on the gun is super important for BR. So you're not showing up on the radars. Barrel is the M16. I either use this or Corvus, but I think this one's just a little bit better because it gives you a bit more range and a little bit easier to control in my opinion. Optic is the Cronin, the Reflex, in my opinion the best sight. Either that or the Viper or the Monocle if you like a more long range sight, but the Cronin's pretty good up close as well as far away. Ammunition would be 60 round mags. I use this because obviously wanting more rounds for Battle Royale as well since people take a bit more to die. So if you run into a team of 3, 20 bullets for each should be perfectly enough to down them all. As well as the Underbarrel will be the Commando foregrip. Just think this is the best. People use Ranger a bit, but I think it makes you a bit slow on the map. As well as it takes ages to aim down sights, and I really don't like that. Whereas this one doesn't affect the ADS speed at all, so you can aim down sights pretty quick too, so it's nice up close as well. Jumping into the MP7, I use the monolithic suppressor for sound suppression and damage range as well. The barrel is FSS Strike. This just makes the damage range quite good on it, so it's both good up close as well as long range. No stock for the move speed and ADS speed. Again, 60 round mags. Obviously, more ammo the better in Battle Royale, in my opinion. Underbarrel is Merc foregrip for the hipfire up close as well as the recoil control. Then jumping into the second class. Obviously, I've got overkill on this as well. So, second class, exactly the same class. M4A1 is exactly the same. And then I've just got an MP5 on this class. So MP5 and MP7 are both really, really good. Not sure which one's the best at the moment, but on this class I use the monolithic suppressor, the F-Tech collapsible stock, the rear grip with stippled grip tape, ammunition is 45 round mags, and the underbarrel is Merc foregrip. In my opinion, that's the best class for Battle Royale. In competitive, I use the 10mm, but I think that the 45 is just much better for this. And yeah, jumping into the next class, this is my class kind of if it is like you're kind of in a lot of areas with buy stations and you want to spam UAVs, or you guys are trying to go for high kill games, I'd use this. So you got the monolithic suppressor M16, so same exact class as the last one, but I've got a Deagle one. So my Deagle loadout is the monolithic suppressor, Forge Tech extended for the damage range as well as the velocity, the lightweight trigger for the fire rate, stippled for the ADS speed, and the sprint out time as well as sleight of hand for quick reloads. So again, double time amped, Simtex, heartbeat sensor, but in this class we use hardline. If you guys didn't know, hardline means UAVs cost only 3,000 instead of 4,000, and everything else is quite a bit cheaper too. The only thing it doesn't affect, I think, is loadouts as well as buying your teammates back. But yeah, so that's my hardline class that I use. So I've got two overkill classes, a hardline class, and my last one is a ghost. So this is basically the same class, but instead of using a sight, I've got fully loaded on. This is probably for like a late game, kind of if you come back to life, drop down on a loadout drop, grab it, you want ghost, but you want lots of ammo, because if you guys know, when you drop down, you have no ammo to start with. So having fully loaded, you start with the max ammo in the gun. Super, super OP. So obviously the same thing other than that, just with no sight, with fully loaded instead. Same thing with the Deagle, exact same loadout, double time, ghost, amped, Semtex, and a heartbeat sensor. So those are my four classes that I like to use. Yeah, so jumping into the settings, I'll run you guys through quickly. I play tactical flipped with 6.6 sensitivity, 1.1 for the high zoom and low zoom. I use a dynamic response curve type. I don't really use anything else here. The weapon thing I just added back on, so ADS and melee, it's alright, but I don't really mount much. Contextual tap is really good in my opinion, so if you tap to so when there's nothing around to grab, you tap, it'll reload. But if there's something to grab or use, then it prioritizes that. So if you're like getting by a truck or something, or you're over something, you gotta hold square to reload. But in my opinion, that's really good for Battle Royale, because it's super easy to grab stuff. Other thing I changed was the tap behavior for the slide. So I think that's just better than holding, because it's a bit faster. So if you want to slide around or get slide cancels off, it's a lot easier to do that. The brightness, I guess that's still preference. I don't play with the colorblind typo, and I know lots of people do. Motion blur, obviously you want it off. Minimap, you need the square one in my opinion. It's way better than the circle. You can see a lot more of the map, and then the rotation thing is on. I'm not sure if that changes much, but yeah, that's on too. This stuff doesn't matter much. Audio. Alright, so most people use boost high, I think. I personally think home theater is better. I can hear the sound settings and the footsteps a lot easier in my opinion, like the sound cues, sorry, not sound settings. But yeah, I think it's super easy to find people with footsteps, and you can hear things a lot easier. I have this on 100, but I have on my Astro Mix amp, I've got the volume down quite low. Hit marker sound effects, Modern Warfare. I know lots of people use classic, it doesn't matter what you use, just whatever's your preference. None of this stuff's changed. So yeah, those are my settings and my loadouts for Warzone. If you guys want to use these, I'm sure the M4 one will help improve your game quite a bit. And obviously, using these classes, in my opinion, are really overpowered. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.